Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year, and welcome back to the Bright Vision webinar and virtual event series. I hope you all have had a great vacation during the holidays, and you're ready to kick off the new year, 2022. Today, we have the honor to have you with us here for half an hour-ish, when we're going to talk about the Rise of RevOps. It's not me. My name is Jacob Löwenbrand. I'm the managing director of Bright Vision, but it's our expert and team leader in MarTech today that will host this, and his name is Fredrik, and he will very soon introduce himself here. But for those of you that's new to Bright Vision, I can just say that we're our technology marketing agency. We help tech companies in B2B grow, basically. And we have been around for 22 years this year, so yay! That's quite a long time in this world. But we have been working with many clients for over 15 years now, and here are some of them that are in our client roster that we love to work with. We do offer a full service offering in digital, as well as outbound and teleprospecting, SDR services, as well as MarTech. We have a quickly growing MarTech practice, which Fredrik heads up, who will be speaking here today. So we can do all kind of growth-related marketing things if you are interested in that. And we do have a special offering here today that I can mention more about at the end, but we do give away free HubSpot discovery workshops. So if you're a HubSpot user and want to have a really good look into what you can optimize, how you can work with it better, maybe set up new processes or workflows and things like that, or just want an external view on it if you're working at the top performance of what your installation can offer, sign up for a free offer. We are giving away 5 free workshops that's really valuable with an expert to sit down for a few hours and have a workshop together. Okay, that's a very short introduction. And please, of course, use the chat, ask questions, and we will, as usual, always have a little bit of a time afterwards. But with that, Fredrik, let's give you the stage here so you can take it away.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar about the Rise of RevOps. So thank you for joining us, and I'm very excited to introduce this topic for you. So 10 years ago, we at Bright Vision evangelized the BDR and SDR roles for sales and marketing teams. The purpose of the BDR and SDR was to increase efficiency of senior sales reps, as well as meeting the trend of more deals being closed over the phone and online. So this session is about revenue operations, or RevOps, which is also being driven by change, trends, and technology, which I will talk more about. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we will answer them by the end of the session. Okay, so I'm Fredrik, Innovation Manager and MarTech Team Lead at Bright Vision. I worked with marketing and sales for over 10 years. Most of my time is spent with our clients, working on transformations and processes or marketing technology, such as marketing automation. So I'm happy to work in this area, and I think it's very interesting with the changes that we are seeing in the market right now. So we can see a shift in buying behavior and buyer expectations, because buyers today have better access to information and more ways of comparing and buying services and products. And not the least, competition today is global. So I think that the buyers are demanding us to get better. So let's talk about some of the challenges for marketing and sales departments. So one of those challenges are alignment. So when talking about pipeline, that used to mean the sales pipeline. Now, though, the alignment between marketing and sales, as well as customer success or service, means that today this is an end-to-end integrated pipeline where we need to collaborate between these departments. We have more pipeline stages, and because of technology and data, we are breaking the pipeline into more steps than we have done before. We do have a complex buyer's journey. Since we can track and understand the buyers better, we know that the buyer's journey is not linear from start to finish in this pipeline. Competition. So we have our competition and buyers demands us to improve and being better at timing our activities, being more relevant with the messaging. And one of the big trends right now, for example, is personalization or one-to-one ABM campaigns. And then access to data and processes. So we know that data today is getting so important. So it's very important that we have access to that data. Sales, for example, benefits from the marketing data and vice versa. It's also really good if we can get the data. If you're a SaaS company, for example, if we can use the data from your platforms and use that in marketing and sales. So there's big opportunities in aligning and getting the access to the data. Same thing with the shared processes. We can't work in silos anymore with marketing, sales, and customer success. So the question is how this is working out for you guys. So if we break this problem down into KPIs, all the way from a potential buyer to a renewed customer. So each one of these steps in the pipeline or in each single one of these KPIs, there might be a leakage, which means that you are missing out on opportunities, deals, and new businesses. So if we could manage to improve on just one of these KPIs, that can lead to big opportunities for you in terms of new revenue and new clients. So there are two potential wins here. So you can either identify the weakest link, the KPI where you have the most potential to improve. You could also achieve easy wins on many of these KPIs. So there's a famous case about the English bicycle team. So instead of solving one big problem, they solved a lot of small problems. This is called the 1% principle, and it's become very popular, and this won them the Olympic gold. So for many companies, this starts with defining and measuring these KPIs. I would recommend that as a first step. You might be surprised when you see the numbers or what hides behind them. So for example, how many of the contacts in your database that has engaged with you in the last 6 months, or how many of them that's actually a fit. So also the other element of this issue is your time in marketing, sales, customer success. So I'm pretty sure that you're spending quite a lot of time stuck in technical issues, meetings, and jumping between different systems and tasks. So technology, new roles, alignment, that's a challenge for a lot of people, especially in marketing today. So being a small team is challenging because there's so much things that you need to know and so many different skills that you need to know. So the additional task being related to technology, data, alignment is very much a burden and slowing people down a lot. And this results in wasted time. So basically today, work is more complex. And because of technology, data, you have to learn a lot of new tools and softwares. For example, you have marketing automation platforms, which are quite technical. You might have an additional CRM. You might need to work with integrations platforms such as Zapier or Integromat or similar. You might have a specific event platform, such as a webinar platform. You might have ad platforms. Paid ads are also getting a lot more complex, a lot more powerful, but also with complexity. So to be able to collaborate with more roles and between departments, you need shared processes and definitions. So sales and marketing alignment is a very core thing here that we need to overcome. Basically, we want to reduce friction. So the friction between sales, marketing, and service, and the friction of more technology, the friction of getting access to the right data, and the friction of poorly working processes. So I think we all can relate to this, to the feeling that we are not always in sync or solving the same problems in marketing, sales, and customer success. So how do we actually overcome this? And this is where revenue operations or RevOps comes in. So revenue operations is where a person or a team who work across the silos of marketing, sales, and customer success. And the purpose of the role is to break down the silos and remove the friction between these departments through shared processes and data. And what we have gone through this so far is why RevOps is emerging as a hot topic right now. It's one of the solutions to these challenges of more technology, more data, and more roles in these departments, and the marketing, sales alignment, and so on. Here's an alternative explanation saying that work that requires a degree of specialization and where it is important to have the perspective from all departments in mind to not sub-optimize for either of them. So not sub-optimizing for either sales or marketing. Normally two departments speaking two different languages where we want to find alignment. So I think most people want to do the job that you're good at. It's very annoying to have technical issues or doing manual tasks that can be automated. And all of us have probably spent way too much time copying and pasting data in spreadsheets. So we think that sales should do sales, which they are great at, and let marketing do marketing. And then let revenue operations do the logistics. And as an indication of this trend and the topic of revenue operations, we can see more and more support in the platforms. So for example, I want to highlight HubSpot's most recent addition to their platform called Operations Hub. So the purpose is to empower better integration of data and more powerful tools for automation. So from my perspective, the marketing automation platforms are very much becoming the true north for a lot of your data. And from our experience so far, and from looking at job boards, here are some of the common descriptions of tasks for the RevOps role. So a learning I want to highlight is the duality of this role, where we really want someone who can work strategically with an understanding of both marketing and sales and perhaps service as well. This is a senior person with the experience of common issues in these departments, understanding how salespersons are working, at the same time understanding how marketing is working. But also a lot of the day-to-day tasks are quite technical. Some of it deeply technical and requires skills in coding or databases. We have already mentioned integrations, data analytics, and so on. So it's the tasks for RevOps are quite broad. Amongst others, it's about discovering needs, audit and map processes, playbooks, marketing technology support, optimize lead scoring and nurturing, but also more technical, such as administration of the marketing automation system, setting up integration, solving problems, and maybe with custom functionality and so on. So what's a good fit for your organization depends on your needs, but I would recommend a person or a team that can help you cover both strategic and technical needs. Maybe you have two persons, maybe you have one person with different hats. If you're a small team, maybe the same solution there, someone that can take a lead on the technical part and someone that can take a lead on the more strategical part. The important thing is to work across the departments, working across marketing, sales, and customer service. So let's explore some hands-on examples of what RevOps can do. So for example, automations, it's one of the most powerful tools you have to remove unnecessary work and to support your processes. So looking back at the 1% principle, I think it's a good fit when it comes to automations. So some are looking for the solution or a silver bullet, and that's sometimes how these platforms get marketed as well. But I would argue that solving a lot of smaller problems and doing small improvements, that is what makes the huge impact over time. So setting up customer journeys or nurturing flows, notifications, lead management, pipeline automations, and also data quality. I think we can see a really good fit for working with data quality. And for example, looking at your database and having a dashboard or which fields are missing from SQLs or opportunities, and so on, is a really good way of using the automations. And then we have notifications. I think this is a really good tool as well. So it's a good way to increase insight and team collaboration. I think it's an undervalued approach to use these notifications. As a difference from reports, notifications are just in time. So if you receive a new lead or a hand raise from a form, being able to send those notifications to the salespersons directly and also to marketing gives you a good understanding of the flow of new leads, and also makes it easier for you to take action straight away. I think a curious metric here is that there's a survey done on the time for answering new leads or opportunities. And it clearly shows that really quick responses is many times what gives you the edge compared to your competitors for those opportunities. So the notifications is a great way to be able to answer your leads really quick. So template management, really important for the marketeers. You might have a lot of different roles in marketing with content creators, project managers, and so on. And having access to good templates and the templates and modules that you need can really increase the efficiency and make it a lot easier for you guys to launch new campaigns. Same thing with the emails. Lead scoring is an important part of lead management and making sure that the most engaged and the leads who are the best fit float up to the top so that you can convert those to SQLs and hand off to sales. And this is not something that we set and forget. So tuning the scores and getting the feedback on how this is working, for example, in the sales handoff and sales accepted leads, etc. This is something that you continue to do over time, and you continue to tune this. So this is also a great task for RevOps. So integrations, I don't think I need to state the obvious here that the data today is really important. The more data you can have, the better campaigns you can do, the better sales calls you can make. So having access to the data, for example, from different platforms, the one simple thing of just understanding which of the contacts are customers and not, if you have a separate CRM, or understanding which solutions or products they use, or if they are an active client or a churn client and so on. All of this is very important for you to be able to create the right nurturing emails and to be able to take the right action, including people in the right campaigns and doing it also timely. So obviously with automations, you can trigger emails based on inactivity and so on. So there's a lot that you can do as long as you have the right data. And on the opposite, it might be really hard to do the right things if you don't have the right data. This is also something that a RevOps can have as a responsibility, talking with marketing, sales, customer success, maybe IT or other departments, and making sure that we can get access to that data and get those integrations done. Custom actions is a new feature in HubSpot where you can create your own custom features if you don't have them natively. So for example, you can enrich with external data sources. There's a secret token. It's like a serverless function or server running within the platform, letting you do more or less whatever you want. A really powerful feature. Reporting and analysis. This is commonly where we start. Apart from doing a discovery, we often start with the reports and analysis, making sure that we understand what's in the system today, where the leads are coming from, what the leads are interested in, and so on. And I think this is also something that needs to be continuously improved upon. Once you start using the reports, you will understand which changes that you want or maybe need for further reports, or maybe there are some reports that you didn't know that you needed. A great task for revenue operations. And this is where we start as well with, as mentioned, the discovery. I think for many companies, revenue operations and the collaboration between departments are something that is fairly new, or where maybe you haven't really reached the situation that you want to be in. So having a discovery and just understanding which are the biggest pain points in marketing, in sales, and so on, and jointly across the departments, aligning marketing and sales, what's the hiccups at the moment, which are the most urgent needs, but also what can we do, what are the opportunities. So starting with a discovery to understand the needs, talking to sales, for example, understanding why the leads aren't followed up upon, or the quality of those leads, why we need to sync, and so on. And also, this is a good slide to just briefly show how we at Bright Vision works. And normally we have a discovery phase with our clients, whereas we make recommendations, a list of things that we think that you really should do or must do, and something that you could do. The next step would be implementation of these, and then the analysis, and then we kind of go around. Playbooks, audit and map processes, data quality, training and support. Training is also a really crucial part, making sure that marketing and sales share the same definitions, same processes, and the training is really important to reach that. Here's also a really interesting fact, which I think speaks for the RevOps role, that Asana, the project management SaaS tool, states that you spend 60% of your job on work about work. I think this could be quite true for marketeers and sales, from what we mentioned here with the data, technologies, and alignment and processes and so on. So there are some key takeaways I would like to highlight from this session. First one is to reduce friction for everyone working with marketing, sales, customer success, and especially reducing friction between these departments. unleashing the potential of data, automations, and processes. So your competitors are definitely working hard on this, improving, automating, working with data. This is something that is really, really important for you to keep your competitive edge going forward. And let marketing do marketing and sales do sales, and obviously letting the RevOps solve the logistics between those. So thank you. Feel free to reach out if you have questions or if you're interested in the workshop.
Exactly. I think we have a few minutes left for questions and Q&A here. And feel free to ask in the chat. But one thing I feel is very interesting with the opsification of every department nowadays. There's so many systems coming out in the market in all kind of different categories. And of course, revenue operations and sales and marketing and customer success and so forth is the highlight of this one. But as every other department where you grow as a company, you always decide, should we maybe use a outsourced consultant in our HR department to begin with, and then we're beginning bigger, and then we hire full-time HR, and then we have a full team in place after a few years and so on. So when should you start building a RevOps team? How big should you be, and where should you be in the progress as a company? Do you have anything to say about that, Fredrik?
Yes, I think for many this is a quite new area. So if you have, for example, accounting and bookkeeping for finance, that would be something that is quite defined. And if you choose to bring someone in, or if you choose to hire someone yourself, I mean, every company will do that different. But I think in this case, it's quite a new area, and I think maybe it would benefit you to have someone to support you to start with, to ask those questions and maybe to give those insights. So for example, we have the benefit of working with a lot of clients, so we might have learned some pieces here and there. But also internally, if you start internally and you promote someone internally, I think it's the same thing. It's about starting with the discovery and understanding what's the crucial needs from marketing and from sales, and which are the opportunities. And this is a long journey. So I think start small and don't look for the perfect solution, or don't try to do the perfect implementation. But just start small and see this is a journey. And I think you will learn a lot. You will discover a lot. And yeah, you will do this in small steps.
Yeah, that's great. If you start looking for external or internal solution to this, what is the key competences you're looking for in a person to, spearhead a RevOps function?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have someone who wants to dive into new things and learn new things. For most people, this will be new skills, new platforms, and that curiosity and that will to improve and improve processes. I think that's a really core skill. Also, the technological skill, because it is quite technological. Talking about data and integration is not just complex tools and code. It's also an understanding of the data and data analytics and so on. So I'd say those are some crucial skills. And obviously in the organization, working between marketing and sales, having someone that can have an understanding of both sides. There shouldn't be marketing implementing revenue operations or sales. It should be something that's across these departments.
That's great. We do have another question here. You focus on HubSpot as the main tool for marketing automation and sales CRM. What are other tools you can recommend for these purposes? How much time do we have?
That's a really good question. There's so many tools. We had the MarTech day before Christmas, and there are thousands of tools. And I think I think the good thing with HubSpot and the marketing automation systems that are starting to include both marketing modules and the sales with the CRM and so on, it's really good to have those natively integrated and working in the same platform and so on. But obviously, there's a lot of tools for integrations, and there's a lot of tools for paid ads. I think looking onwards for the coming year or a couple of years, I do think that for the bigger companies, the tools for ads, programmatic ads, remarketing, they are getting so powerful. And they are getting, the ABM tools are a lot about the data and the connection to ad platforms. That will definitely be some of the big investments being made in the coming years.
Yeah, I agree. And a little bit of an idea there could be, if you're interested in more systems and what systems to look into and so forth, just as we do, we scan the market, and a few tools that are really good to do that is Capterra or G2, who are software evaluation platforms where you can see their grids on who have market presence and who's the innovation leaders. So start looking at the upper quadrant there, and you can see pretty quickly which the probably best 5 to 10 shortlisted in any category of software you're interested in. So, and that's how we do work. If we see a software platform that we think is exciting, where we might provide value, we of course start to look into that and see if we should bring in that into the competency areas of Bright Vision's MarTech team and so forth. So that's how we go about, and if it feels interesting for our clients and if the system got traction and so forth. So yeah,
I think these are some interesting questions. I think both of them are about leadership and management buy-in and so on. And I think that is one of getting the leadership and management buy-in is one of the most important things to get this working. Because I think there's such a big difference between companies that are sales-driven and traditional and sticking to those ways. They won't give you big budgets for platforms or processes or new roles and hire new people and so on. I think a big shift is the companies that are kind of planning for marketing to be a part of the pipeline, looking at marketing not from a cost perspective, but from a revenue perspective, and seeing what's part of next year's goals, what's marketing's part of that, what do they need to bring in, and looking at it from a revenue standpoint. Same thing with the ad spend and everything. That is the key to kind of unlock more budgets and being able to recruit more roles and putting more efforts into these issues, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, ultimately, you can build an ROI case basically on being more productive and role specialization rather than, being jack of all trades, trying to be both a programmer and tech and a copywriter and all that. Yeah. So it's hard, and it's getting harder to cover everything. So I think that's a good insight you offer there, Fredrik. That's great. Maybe we have time for a last one here. So where do you start? If you don't have any budget for RevOps, you don't have a function, but just as these ones, last questions asked here, you're starting out somewhere. What's the first step for a marketing or CMO, marketing manager or CMO after this webinar to what meeting to book, where to start, what insights? What's the first steps?
Yeah, I think obviously finding some source of, I think, for example, HubSpot is blogging more and more about revenue operations. There are other webinars out there. Obviously, we're happy to take a meeting or a workshop to introduce the topic and to see what might be the next steps. And I think internally, I think someone needs to be the ambassador, obviously, looking out for this type of information, learning new things and experimenting. And start small. And also, obviously, I think having the goal that marketing should actually be part of generating revenue and not being the cost center, I think, is one of these big steps or mental shifts.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Fredrik, for today. I really felt that you have given us a good insight here into what RevOps about and why we need to pay attention to it. And thank you so much for everybody listening in. It was great to have you with us again. and we'll continue with more webinars and virtual events coming up. Not to miss our big event in March, Marketing Technology Day, where we have a lot of great speakers lined up already. But more about that in the future. And also a last reminder, if you're interested in a HubSpot discovery workshop for free with real valuable insights and, getting Fredrik and his team helping you out and so forth, getting insights into what to do better, just claim your spot in the link above. And we're offering 5 of them right now, so we can't say that everybody gets one, but 5. So that's something you can think about. Thank you so much for today, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.